5 strong handmade cars. There are certain people who simply cannot live without cars in the modern world. However, in addition to the normal cars we're all accustomed to, there is a whole other world of automobiles that are cars built entirely from scratch. Any two gearheads' hidden wish should be to build a car in their garden. Most car enthusiasts can only stare at all the Hondas, Toyotas, and Kias for so long before realizing that the majority of manufacturers' designs for cars are now uninspired and impossible to distinguish from one another. Hi everyone, welcome back to Car Insiders. Today we are going to talk about the 5 strongest handmade cars. Let's get started. What are handmade cars? Why they are famous? What's their specialty? A supercar isn't the most ideal choice by any means if speed is the main important component. Regardless of their standing for speed, the selectiveness they give attracts clients the most. Any vehicle can be altered to where it can outperform the best of them with enough cash. It ought to be noticed that it is a lot less complex in any case a vehicle that has a generally enormous motor in the first place, as this would regularly be the most helpful and reasonable technique to make it happen. Then again, constrained enlistment permits numerous little engine vehicles to deliver power figures that are equivalent to those of the large young men. It's typical to see vehicles with profoundly tunable VTEC motors, similar to the Honda Civic, that give a great deal of capacity at a sensible cost. It's significantly less difficult to get execution a careful spending plan that rivals fascinating vehicles because of vehicles like the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo or R34 Nissan Skyline GTR, which are stronger out of the industrial facility, ideally not as much as what it would cost to buy a supercar. Since Henry Ford presented the sequential construction system method of creating vehicles very nearly 100 years back, numerous automakers have embraced computerized techniques to make it simpler to assemble autos in enormous amounts. This procedure was intended to present whatever number of productive items as could be expected under the circumstances in the briefest period. These typical vehicles, however, are needing in something. They, in the long run, begin to feel the same way. This is because every one of them is built as per similar details and is arranged similarly, despite the way that they can appear to be reasonable. Splinter, Durhall's Sportswagen, the wooden sports car. Previously, wood was habitually used to make cars, however, these days you're bound to find one in a toy confined than a carport. However, such isn't true with the Splinter. An elite presentation sports vehicle that has a grip drove by Joe Hartman has been producing for a considerable length of time. Aside from the drivetrain, checks, clasp, tires, and edges, the fascinating vehicle is on the whole built of wood composites. It is driven by a Chevrolet LS7 motor. The Splinter is the outcome of Harman's long-standing enthusiasm for vehicles and his craving to push the limits of wood's apparent potential, like Harman, who started the venture while an alumni understudy at North Carolina State University. The Splinter stands apart among other wooden vehicles since it was made to feel and seem as though an elite execution machine, as shown by the LS7 motor that was chosen for its lightweight and little size. It delivers a reputed 700 strength because of an 8-choke body consumption complex, a camshaft machined particularly for this task, and an extraordinarily made cross-stream exhaust framework, 522 kilowatts. The vehicle's all-out weight is accepted to be 3,000 pounds, which is 1,360 kilograms. And Harman contends that since it is working wood, it has a higher solidarity to weight proportion than steel and aluminum. He noticed that while the Splinter wasn't intended to be an elite execution vehicle, its weight, shape, equipping, and power might have the option to drive it to velocities of up to 240 miles per hour, which is 386 kilometers an hour. However, the vehicle won't probably be scrutinized around here. Life-size Lego car powered by air. Raul Ida and Steve Sammartino's super awesome micro project, a Lego motor that deals with air in standard Lego vehicle. Albeit the vehicle's maximum velocity of 17 miles per hour makes it not especially speedy, in any case can move a driver on a short voyage. Throughout recent years we have been seeing a few pretty staggering machines developed with Lego blocks, yet Steve Sammartino and Raul Ida's creation is by a long shot the most shocking. As well as being developed on a full scale, it can likewise move while conveying individuals. Its creators state that it very well may be equipped for arriving at velocities of up to 20 miles per hour each, because of 4 motors that have 256 cylinders and a couple of high-pressure air tanks. It required 20 months to complete the amazing undertaking in the driving vehicle. North of 500,000 Lego pieces was utilized to assemble the car. The motor, which supernaturally appears to have been built completely out of Lego, is the most exciting element of this Lego vehicle. To hold every one of the areas together, the edge needs to contain a few underlying parts. Other than the way that it comprises 4 particular orbital motors, each with 64 chambers and cylinders, there don't appear to be numerous specialized points of interest. Drivable cardboard car. A Lexus developed out of recyclable cardboard was made by two specialists and originated in England. You'll see that this vehicle is completely made out of cardboard, assuming you investigate. Daniel Ryan, one of the co-makers of the origami in Livent vehicle, asserted that when individuals pass it, they pause and take 2 strides back. Lexus unveiled the vehicle, a cardboard copy of their new IS300H in London. The body of an IS300H was high quality out of 1,700 recyclable bits of laser-cut cardboard over 90 days by Ruben Marcos of Scales and Models and Daniel Ryan of Laser Cut Works. Each piece was formed to fit with the others. After being stuck, every part is expected to dry for 10 minutes. A steel and aluminum outline is disguised under the wheels, which were likewise made of cardboard. The car is impelled by an electric engine. This vehicle has useful openable entryways situate that can uphold an individual's weight, and even cup holders. However, spills have best stayed away from for clear reasons. It is something other than a striking idea. Making a working vehicle totally out of cardboard isn't possible, however, simply envision the wreck that adding fuel would deliver. The cardboard car has been developed around a steel and aluminum body, giving up the usefulness for cardboard rused looks, for an electric engine and working headlights. Batmobile, the Batman car. A British fan developed his own Batmobile, this time endeavoring to emulate the Batmobile from the 1989 Batman film. This British Batmobile has everything, not at all like the other Batmobiles on this rundown. It has flamethrowers and is road lawful too. The lawfulness of this British Batmobile might rely upon those flamethrowers, or it may not. Nonetheless, even without the flamethrowers, this British Batmobile is an exceptionally powerful vehicle that can rival the Batmobile from the motion pictures. As for hot cars, it includes a 3.2-liter Jaguar V6 motor and advances from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds. It likewise incorporates a refined well-being framework and suspension, making it a totally practical vehicle. To circumvent as the Batmobile did in the Michael Keaton Batman motion pictures, it additionally incorporates a lot of astounding highlights, similar to full LED running lights. By and by, the British devotee who made his Batmobile isn't excessively nostalgic about it. Anyone with any interest at all in buying and working this DIY Batmobile is approached by paying around $110,000. DIY car. In the year 2000, a DIY supercar called the Noble M12 is said to have been made in South Africa. A couple of years after the fact, 1G Racing in Ohio bought the privileges to deliver this vehicle in the United States. The Ford Duratec V6 motor with turbochargers was situated in the engine of the M12. It could without much of a stretch produce up to 310 pulls at 6,000 RPM and 320 pound-feet of force at 3,500 RPM, as indicated by reports. Various M12 varieties likewise showed up after some time, everyone getting more grounded than the last. For example, the M12 GTO3 is said to have a 3-liter motor equipped with creating 350 pound-feet of force at 3,500 to 5,000 RPM, and up to 352 drive at 6,200 RPM. Why these cars become a special attraction? Why do people crave these handmade cars? Why they're overpriced? Thanks for watching. Please share and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified about the latest updates. Until then, peace.